Hello and welcome to the CiviWiki weekly meeting. Today is Monday, 28th of May, 2018. My name is Briley Christopher Oxley and I'm joined here by
Juhi Lee.
Since there's only Juhi and I in the call today, we're going to try to keep things pretty short. Juhi, do you want to go straight into the developer's report? I can check out issues that are assigned to you.
Okay. Yeah, so I've been working on just the componentization of the front end code and still working on it, but I should be able to finish it by tonight or finish it up by early morning tomorrow. Um, and then I just wanted to check up with the Django REST framework endpoints. I know that pull request has been out for a while, and it's been approved. So, is it all right to merge, or should we wait for it to kind of be more complete with the further pull requests?
Well, I think it's fine. I've reviewed it. It looks good.
Okay.
So, that's going to be an ongoing work. One thing I had in the back of my
Definitely.
mind that we
Yeah.
might not have to do, but is that if we consider restructuring the app, because right now
Mm-hmm.
everything's kind of in this API
Mm-hmm.
app, I guess that they're called in Django.
Mm-hmm.
So you have projects and apps, right? That's the hierarchy. And I was
Mm-hmm.
thinking that that architecture only allows us to have one app that's kind of all encompassing, and what we have maybe or is more common for projects to have multiple apps.
Mm-hmm.
In our case, it would be, for example, the civies would have an app or other layers like that. Do you think in the
Mm-hmm.
future it would be hard to kind of refactor this? Would it require moving things between tables, for example, or
Ah,
between
alright, I
multiple
see
app
what you mean,
structures?
changing the entire backend structure a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, well, I think having it as a simple API structure makes it a little easier to kind of do housekeeping for now, just because we have so much backlog of cleaning up stuff to do.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. Yeah. I wasn't saying we should do it for this
But what did you
milestone.
have in mind in terms of kind of I guess dividing it up into different sections? Did you
Yeah.
mean kind of like modularizing the application based on our model structure, or?
Yeah, essentially, because I think the original design was just like throw everything in the API because it was kind of like they were thinking of it as just an API driven app. So I understand the rationale there, but I think we can still have, using Django REST framework or even just generically, you can still have an API driven app that's more oriented around the business logic and the domain
Mhm.
model. And so we
Mhm.
can continue this
Well,
conversation.
yeah, I'm definitely open to the idea just because I I think the original intention of having an API driven app was to just make it kind of very standardized and approachable, but it's not really in line with in line with what the best we can do with the concept we have at hand. So it's definitely something we can explore.
All right. But yeah, so for what you said, back to what you said as layout, let's go ahead and merge this initial work on the Django REST framework. This is really good. And then keep on the componentization. As an aside, I was just reading on Hacker News that Shadow DOM has, I think they're going to, in Mozilla, they're going to have it as a standard feature. It's been behind, I guess, a flag for a while that you had to enable or disable
Mm-hmm.
since about 2015 or 2016, I don't know. But basically, that's part of this web components standard that's pretty much fully fledged, except a crucial part called
Mm-hmm.
HTML imports. But anyway, when you're refactoring the front end code to follow a component structure in a way, I'm really hoping that we're going to be working towards actually building a web component structure, but
Mm-hmm.
it's not here now. The component structure you're following is, as I understand, going to be more of kind of a backbone modules or
Mm-hmm.
something like that, which is cool nonetheless.
Mm-hmm. And it should definitely be an improvement of our previous structure.
Yeah, it definitely was kind of confusing, particularly for new developers. I would imagine how hard it could be.
Yeah.
to get
Yeah,
around.
especially I feel like this project code structure kind of stuck back in like 2011 structure, or like not even 2000, like kind of standards. So it's definitely good to bring that back up to more modern ways.
Right. Yeah, and so it's good, have that balance of like the JavaScript has this really ethos around like innovating. At the same time, you lose all the prior. Not you don't like fully lose all the prior knowledge, but you end up reinventing things, and in process of reinventing, you lose some of the richness of the prior implementations. But it's kind of nice that we have this Django project that's been around for quite a while, over 10 years, and it's so rich of a framework. It gives us common patterns, and we're still going to be building on patterns, design patterns like these web components that are designed to span the test, to the test of time, so to speak, the span of a decade or so. So we don't have to like throw everything away.
Definitely.
By the way, so is both issue 120 REST API endpoints for threads and the Django REST framework, are both of those going to be closed now?
Yeah, they should be tied to the pull request. So once the pull request is merged, they will be closed.
Okay, cool. Those are the main kind of development tasks that we had to talk about. Have you been mentoring the other new developers, or do you have any comments
Yeah,
on
so they've
those
been
tasks?
kind of excited. I know Joe was talking about his intents to leave. He was working on school stuff and then other stuff in life. Um, Gordon has assigned himself to a lot of different stuff, and he was working on getting some of the bugs in milestone point 2 out of the way. So,
Yeah, cool.
uh,
Yeah, that's
yeah, the
good.
bugs, kind of back end bug.
Yeah, the vote counters and Sunlight API deprecated seem kind of like a big thing.
Yeah, so he definitely has big and small things assigned, so I'm not too worried about
Yeah,
not having work.
yeah, definitely. Just kind of keep on track and keep able to focus on one thing at a time. There's a bug around PsychoPG that you reported. Do you think that's a low-hanging fruit?
Definitely
Okay, I'll
just
label that as such.
update the version number.
Yeah, so that's good first task then. Code quality. All right, cool. Well, those are the main issues. There's still about 25 issues on this 02 milestone, but I think we can defer some of these to 03. Did you get your name on the About Us page?
Oh, yes. Yeah, so I think when Mitchell ran initially fixed up the page, he ran like a spell checker that automatically changed CiviWiki to lowercase, and that needs to be fixed.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, everything should be edited on there correctly. Although the assignment is wrong, it should be assigned to me instead of him. But
could you finalize the pull request review on number 197, template-based thread sharing button? It looks good from my perspective.
I have not run the front end code testing yet, so I need to do that.
Yeah.
Just because we don't know if the actual functions are working or not.
Yeah, and also to see if we might need to make any changes to correspond with your component work. So should I assign you to that peer review for 197? Okay,
Yep.
Cool. Okay, cool. 2, 3. And I'll close the other one. I'll close it, but noting that we can reopen it if needed. We haven't lost any of the changes as long as we don't delete that branch. Okay, well, I think that's probably pretty good for the check-in, unless you have any other things to note.
No, that's it. I guess for next week, or for this following week, I'm gonna finish up this pull request and then work on some of the documenting um, issues that are associated with point two.
Cool. Oh yeah, that's right. Are there any that affect the a new developer? Was there something related to that, um, like a
I
contributor
didn't
guide or
really
anything?
think so. Um, I mean, everything should be kind of all inclusive in terms of issues. So, and there shouldn't be any new issues that are popping up. But I would hold off with the Django REST framework until I resolve the conflicts, I suppose,
Yeah,
since
that's
new
right.
updates were
The
pulled in.
yeah, I hope that we can rebase that. It's kind of a tricky thing to rebase these PRs, and we end up sometimes having to create a merge commit.
Hmm.
Okay. All right. Cool. Well, if you have any troubles, just give me a holler. If you mention me on GitHub, I'll be able to respond pretty quick.
All right, sounds good.
All right. Well, have a good week.
You too.
Peace.
Yeah, stay cool.